to this week's edition of the Side Splitters. My name is Lyle.
And my name is not Lyle.
And our goal this week is to leave you in stitches. God damn it, Andy. You got me.
You're welcome.
All right, you got me. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. Something started today that I wanted to touch on real quick.
Oh, you finally becoming a man?
I am, and before the majority of the female audience gets their panties in a bunch, and I mean every single word of that, I'm going to preface this by saying it's not going to take long. It's going to be quick and easy. Relax. But I have a bit of stuff I want to talk about.
On your wedding night.
Have a bit of stuff I want to talk about regarding video games. It's going to be quick. Don't worry, guys. And this is actually kind of interesting. Andy, you probably have as much interest in this as the women that listen to this podcast do. But Dota 2 started the TI-7 today, which is the international...
That's a calculator.
The International is what TI stands for. The Dota International.
Texas Instruments.
It's a tournament. It's like the Super Bowl of Dota. Okay, that's the best way I can describe it. It's pretty huge, and I got some numbers here just to go based off of how huge it is, because I knew going into this, Andy's not going to give a damn about Dota. Most people that listen to this are not going to care about Dota. But they might be a little interested to know exactly how far Dota is pushing the esports button these days, okay?
Okay.
So, the International is something that happens every year around this time. And usually leading up to it, they will release something in the game that is called a Battle Pass or a Battle Compendium. That's it, compendium of some sort. Something. I don't know. It's basically a thing where you get some exclusive skins. They do absolutely nothing but, just simply make you look prettier. Purely cosmetic. And it's like $10 or $15 or something like that. And you can level it up and do all kinds of other wonky stuff and unlock stuff. And it's something just completely cosmetic.
Okay.
But they take a portion of all the sales that go towards that and put it into the prize pool for the International. Now, Valve, the company that makes Dota, has put up $1.6 million for the prize pool for Dota, the International, this year, which is a lot. You're playing a video game. The rest of the prize pool comes from 25% of these compendium sales, okay?
Okay.
The rest of the prize, or the total prize rather, is over $23 million. Which means just over $21 million was made from 25% of sales on these skins.
That's insane.
Do you know how much money this company is making over this game? Take
that is insane.
Take that for a second. $21 million is 25% of the sales. That is pure profit. The other 75% of that. Pure profit. And 21 was 25% of it. So you're looking at like $60 million pure profit that they made in the last couple months. Just in a couple months. Because of this tournament. Not to mention all the new players that are going to come because of the hype around it and everything like that. So, oh my God.
Why does this appeal to people so damn much? I just don't understand it.
Listen, to each his own, right?
Yeah, well, I'm also talking about a planet that also hosts international air guitar competitions. So
and rock, paper, scissors competitions. Don't forget that one.
Oh, I forgot about that one, too, yeah.
And then there's also the Kardashians.
And also, the skinniest man I've ever seen is also the top of the hill in almost any eating competition I've ever seen. So, yeah. Yep. No, this is, it's about right.
What exactly are you getting a bit mind-boggled over here that people are enjoying? Just Dota 2 in general, or?
Just, of all... Because, a lot of games have a formula to it, right? Mm-hmm. There's a basic premise and objective. This is how much time it's going to take you to be able to accomplish this feat. And these are the resources at your disposal. Using those resources is what makes it fun. Accomplishing the objective is what makes it fun. But, out of everything, it's the structure that makes up a MOBA is what people are finding so fun. And so much so that they're willing to spend this much money to play it and spend this much time out of their day to play it, master it, live it, breathe it, sleep it, have sex with it, like however they do it. But like that formula is what's getting people's rocks off, and I don't understand it. It's not particularly fun, at least not to me. But you know, it actually could be just downright stressful. But people put up with it for the end game. But I don't think the end game is that appealing. So like, what is the deal?
Well, you don't think the end game is that appealing, just like I don't think Keeping Up with the Kardashians is that appealing. But somehow they're into like their 11th season. You know what I mean?
I know, and I'm waiting for them to finally reveal that Khloe's been a man the whole time, and that's the only reason I'm trying to keep up with the Kardashians is to see when they're going to drop that particular bomb.
I think they already dropped that bomb, and it wasn't a man. I just love
sort
this
of half dog thing.
There's this radio show locally that I tend to listen to at times when I'm not listening to awesome podcasts like Countdown to Geektown. It's called Preston and Steve. They're based out of Philadelphia, and the one guy is just hysterical. He does all kind of different wacky, kooky voices and everything, and he does a Caitlyn Jenner that just cracks me to frig up every time because they always introduce it the same way. They'll make the sound effect of ringing the doorbell, and he'll just come in, oh, look who it is! And it just, it just goes on with whoever is at the door and just goes on from there, just all kind of improv comedy. It's hysterical. But anyway, it's just, yeah. So Dota 2 is making a crap ton of money for Valve.
Like, on the flip side of it.
The thing is, hold on a second, because here's something else you have to keep in mind. This is a free game. You do not have to invest a single penny to improve your experience at all. The only thing that you have to pay for is to make yourself look prettier. That's it.
Listen.
There are other things too, like there is an announcer that lets you know when you got a double kill or a triple kill or your tower is getting destroyed or something like that. And you could change the voice for that. So it could be Rick and Morty. Like the legit voice actors for Rick and Morty have done work with this game.
Voice actor, but yeah.
Yeah, right. They've done work with this game. And the robot from Fallout 4, Codsworth, he can be your announcer. Like, there's just so many different cool things like that. They're trying so hard to get Snoop Dogg to do it. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't done it yet. But, just different stuff like that. That's all you have to pay for. It's literally things to just entertain you a little bit more within this game. But if you are not into that, like, I'm not really super into that. Sure, it's cool if I got it for free, but if I have to pay for it, I don't really do it. But you don't have to pay a dime to play this game. And somehow, in a couple months, this company has made over $50 million.
Yep.
It's fascinating.
It is. It genuinely is fascinating, mind-boggling, and frustrating all at the same time.
But just to keep everyone up to date here, the prize pool is $23 million. First place team will bring home at least $10 million. So that's 5 people they have to split $10 million between. So you're talking at least $2 million for each person in the first place team.
To play a video game.
And
remember growing up,
when
your parents told you, don't play video games. You'll never amount to anything playing video games.
Or they would ground you, and instead of playing video games, you had to do more homework because that was going to make you go further in life. When I work at a warehouse and I play video games for fun, I hope you're happy.
Yeah, knowing the chronological order of the battles of the Civil War is not going to get you anywhere. But knowing that a winged dragon has nowhere near the same potential as an undead pirate is what's going to get you, that house you always wanted.
Knowing that Blink Dagger is good on every character, that's for you, Sideburns. That is going to, anyway. So that's all I want to talk about with video games. That's it. We'll leave it at that. I know you guys have already had enough. I'm sorry that we had to do it as we did, but it had to be done because that's just an amazing feat. I want to touch on that. Now, there's something else I wanted to touch on real quick. Not video game related, I promise, but there was that sweet-ass podcast that I was just talking about a second ago that I listen to sometimes. Not as often as I'd like, I'll admit it. But Countdown to Geektown, those guys are awesome. They actually took it upon themselves to send me a hat with the Countdown to Geektown logo on it. It's amazing. It's fitted. It's so nice. I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Thanks, guys, for giving him a hat.
Yeah, that's all. They didn't give Andy anything, not because they don't like Andy, but because they said, does Andy want a hat? And I said, nah, I do though.
Yeah, no, I've never worn a hat in my life. I don't like them. I think they're very constricting, and besides, you see how much I let my hair kind of just go all wild. Like I can't contain that.
I enjoy it.
Wearing a hat or my hair?
Your hair?
Oh,
It looks like salt and pepper, so I want to eat it. But I know it's a no-no zone, so I don't.
yeah, you wouldn't enjoy it because there's nothing edible in there.
Like I said, no-no zone.
Yeah, maybe spiders, but that's about it. I can't prove it.
Dead spiders. Oh God. So, one other thing to touch on as far as promoting goes, we did some Twitch streams over the course of the last week, like we said we were going to. The voluptuous Andy streamed on Sunday. And for those that made it and stayed awake, the game was Conker's Bad Fur Day, which I'm sure you're aware of. For those that didn't, well, he'll be there again doing it next Sunday, and I'm guessing with the same game. Yeah? No?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be. I'll be doing it again. I do love that game. I have a lot of good, like, fond memories of it, even though it is frustrating the shit out of me with these controls.
Oh my God.
But no, I will soldier on because while I've played the game multiple times, I've only ever beaten it once, and I at least want to put a nice round number than one.
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to miss it if you don't play it again. Just throwing
I'll
it
miss
out
it.
there. All right, that's all. Hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Look, I will be touching on that in a second. Next up, we had Fresco on Tuesday. He decided to join the stream party with us, and he is going to be streaming every Tuesday from now on. It's something we didn't announce last week because, well, we didn't know it was going to happen. But he came to me.
Yeah,
and
he kind of volunteered it.
Yeah, he volunteered. He was like, "Hey, I can stream, you know." I'm like, well, how Tuesday work for you? It works for me. All right, so here's kind of the schedule that we're working here. Sunday is going to be Andy's day, and he's going to bore you with whatever he bores you with. Tuesday is going to be Fresco's day, and he's going to amaze you with whatever he amazes you with. Because, let me tell you something, he was playing this game called Watch Dogs, and my God, it is a third-person open-world game. I'm sorry, I know we said we weren't going to talk about video games, but this is really funny. You can steal cars and drive around or whatever. Watching him drive in a video game is the funniest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life. It was nighttime in the video game, and he couldn't see at all because Fresco is pretty much blind. And it's terrible to laugh at it, but my God, it was so funny.
I love that he's driving hell for leather down the road to get away from these cops. And, you know, you see a barricade coming up. You or I would just turn to the left or turn to the right to avoid it. No, he's going straight because, like, he thinks it's a pathway. And he'll run right into this damn building and be surprised that he's at a dead stop. Like, oh, sorry, it looked like a pathway. Like, yeah, no, you're right. Pathways are usually building shaped.
And for the first minute, he didn't know the run button. So he gets out of his car to try to go to another car because the car's, you know, being destroyed and about to blow up because he just hit every building in New York City. So he gets out of his car and he just casually walks to the next car.
Getting shot at by the police the whole time. He's just
shot
like,
at by
no,
the
fuck
police.
you guys.
The police are telling him to stop and just yelling at him every variety they can. Oh my God, it was so good. Anyway. So Thursday will be my day. I will be streaming on Thursday, and we're just going to kind of keep that schedule as consistent as possible. So these guys have their own stream channels, their own Twitch channels, and they use them this time. Here's the thing. You can always go to twitch.tv/sidesplitters, and we will always be hosting them if they are not on the Side Splitters channel. I will be personally using the Side Splitters channel. So every Thursday you can guarantee that I will be there with the Side Splitters channel. Sunday and Tuesday, it's either going to be them using the Side Splitters channel or they're going to use their own channel and I will be hosting. So either way, you can still go to Side Splitters, twitch.tv/sidesplitters to watch the stream. Right?
Right.
Okay. Now,
yeah, because like there's some technical difficulties behind the scenes. Like we're streaming off of consoles while Lyle is actually streaming off of a PC. So.
Oh, does that make a difference, Andy?
Oh, you know, not too much of one,
Mm-hmm.
not as much as you'd think, but enough that apparently has to count for something. So
apparently, it's a little bit better. I think he mentioned it once or twice before. I don't know.
Fucking PC Master Race.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. But yeah, the neat thing is you get kind of like the afternoon schedule, which is kind of neat. I can't do it because I'm working Thursday, and I told Fresco to go with the evening shift on Tuesday as well because that's kind of like when everyone's done work, so everyone can watch. Um, so that's it's kind of neat that you have like what do you do like 10 in the morning on Sunday?
Yeah, typically if I don't have people like lingering around the household around that time of the morning, but yeah, I do late morning or early afternoon just
See
because it's
the
easier for me. Like I even my version of sleeping in on the weekends is like waking up 8 o'clock in the morning because I normally wake up at 4. So having that extra 4 hours of sleep is like, wow, I feel incredibly well rested and the sun is barely up. Amazing. But it's a terrible combination. But I know the problem that I've been having is like if people have a particular game they want to see, I'm all ears. But like for the most part, the games that I want to play right now are gonna bore anybody who's not into video games.
hmm
So like I tried to pick something that was like entertaining on its own right. I mean, come on, like I was super.
We're done with video game talk, Andy. If they want to see what you're streaming, they'll come to the stream.
You can also check out my YouTube channel,
Oh yeah,
Dire Kiwi.
yeah. Dire
That's where I.
Kiwi, right? Dire Kiwi on YouTube will get you to Andy's complete full stream from last Sunday. And if for some reason you can't make the stream on Sundays, you can always go to Dire Kiwi on YouTube, and you can always see Andy's streams that way.
Yeah, it's it's spelled exactly how it sounds. Direkiwi.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a Side Splitters YouTube channel soon, and probably dump all the
I was gonna
videos to
ask
that too.
about that.
Yeah, that's coming soon. I promise.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's go into it here. We're about ready to start the show.
Yeah, right. Nothing like a freaking 20-minute warm up.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to touch on today is something happened to me the other day, and it wasn't anything that I particularly thought of as it was happening. But here's the thing: I'm still kind of playing catch up from moving into a new place, buying all kind of new furniture and everything that we need like that. We're not necessarily behind or anything like that. We're just playing catch up, you know. So we're kind of watching our spending habits, so we can build up that nice foundation again.
Yeah, being responsible adults, that is so terrible.
Isn't it though? So
It really is.
it's funny because while we're being responsible adults, I was thinking I wasn't at the same time. Let me get into what I'm talking about here.
I say you're all over the place, man.
Yeah,
Focus.
so I went to go eat. Big surprise. They're not allowed
Of
to talk.
course.
Not allowed to talk about video games. Well, then it's food. So I went to go eat dinner the other night. Me and my wife were doing two completely separate things. She had something to do. I had something to do. So we were just kind of like, we're on our own for dinner. No big deal. So into the kitchen I go, and I'm like, cool. I don't want to order out or anything like that. I don't want to go get something. I kind of want to save money. What do we have here that I could just whip together real quick? And I'm looking around or whatever, and I came across a bunch of eggs and a couple slices of cheese, and anyways, we had some Fruity Pebbles in the pantry, and enough milk for a bowl. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to have a well-balanced breakfast for dinner.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a Fruity Pebble omelet. I was going to be grossed out.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Ugh.
That sounds terrible. But yeah, that's what I had. I had a cheese omelet and a nice bowl of cereal to go with it. I think I may have had some juice and possibly a piece or two of toast as well. No, I didn't have any toast because I was thinking, oh, I'll just have an egg sandwich, and realized we didn't have any bread, and I didn't want to go out and get any.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of a wet thing, but it just got me thinking. I was like, I'm having a well balanced breakfast for dinner, and I couldn't tell you the last time I had a well balanced breakfast for breakfast.
Yeah, no, you're barking up the wrong tree over here. I think I've pretty much had like Uncrustables for breakfast every morning for like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, for me, breakfast usually consists of a cup of coffee as soon as I wake up, and I
Oh
drink
yeah,
that.
that too.
I drink that on my way into work, so I don't eat anything before I leave in the morning. And then at work, we do our normal morning routine, which is pretty much just pull all the orders, get it all ready for the drivers. Once the drivers are all loaded up and taken care of, they leave. Then it's okay. A little bit of downtime. Let me make my second cup of coffee. Usually it's about 8 or 9 o'clock. Let me make my second cup of coffee. I go in at 7. And while that's brewing, oh, what's this bag of chips? Yeah, I'll eat a couple chips, or a banana. Or the banana is typically.
What's this food not nailed down? I'll have that.
Typically, no. It's always stuff that I bring in. Typically,
Okay.
I try to buy a bunch of bananas and I just bring one of them in every day for work, for breakfast or whatever for that time. And sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes it's, oh well, I have potato chips or something like that, and I'll just have that for breakfast, and that's what I'll do. I'll have Doritos for breakfast, or a piece of bread with a slice or two of lunch meat on there. You know.
Yeah, I don't normally do that. Like I don't eat anything before I go into work, but like when I'm at work, coffee's free, so I just get a cup of coffee and either like a piece of fresh fruit or an uncrustable, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Just like it'll go back and forth.
Mm.
I used to do like a bunch of kind bars, but uh,
When I was doing the no carb diet, there was an Atkins bar that was pretty awesome, and I would alternate. One week I would do a box of Atkins bars. The next week I would do a box of these Atkins shakes, and they were great for breakfast. I mean, if I was still on a diet, I would probably still be doing that. The problem is, there's no. It's not that it's a problem, but there's no carbs in them, and they're really freaking expensive. So I'm not going to go out of
yeah,
my
healthy
way.
is expensive.
Oh God, it's so expensive, and that's part of the problem. That's why we're so fat, America.
Yeah, wake up, America.
Make your healthy food cheaper. No,
Yeah,
but
because like I was looking at it because like at work, like okay, I could get a breakfast sandwich for like $2 even, like not even $2. It was like but by the time taxes got done, it was like $1.96 or something like that
wow.
for a breakfast sandwich, and we're talking like bacon, egg, and cheese on like a bagel or an English muffin or something like that, and like that's pretty good. And then you got like a kind bar, which is like $2.34 for one bar. And I'm looking at the kind bar and I'm looking at the breakfast sandwich. I'm going, I'm gonna have the greasy ass breakfast sandwich. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So what is it like? You have like a store in the middle of your place?
cafeteria.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, we have
That's
we have
nice.
a we have a contractor, cafeteria that is within the building. So you go in there and they serve all sorts of different stuff. And they just recently like had a fridge that they put in for like pre-made food for like the off shifts because they're only open from like 6 a.m. till like 1 p.m.
Hmm.
So second or third shift has always had to sit out. So now they have food for all the off shifts as well.
Huh.
Yeah, it's neat. It's not bad. Like a lot of the entrees run like $5 to $8, and sometimes they have like mahi fillets as like the real fancy stuff, and then sometimes they just have like a salad day or like a flatbread pizza or something like that. It's like all right, whatever. There's always something to eat. I never bring in work. Like I don't make stuff at home and bring it into work. I just eat while I'm at work. So when you're like, oh, you spend $5 to $8 a day at work, you're like, that adds up after a while. Like, yeah, no, it actually does, but it's less money I have to spend on groceries. So
That's a terrible way of looking at things.
no, it's a fantastic way of looking at things because honestly,
No. You bring stuff in, it is so much cheaper, Andy. Let me tell you something. I bought a pound of lunch meat, half pound of cheese, and a loaf of bread, and I got lunch for the week.
that sounds boring.
Well, yeah, of course it's boring, but I mean, eating out every day, or in your case, eating in every day, you're buying lunch every day, that adds up.
You're talking like $25 to $40 a week.
25 to 4, okay, at minimum 25. 25, 5 days a week. That is, I mean, or yeah, $25 a week. So 4 weeks in a month, that's $100 a month on lunch.
Yeah,
You could spend $100 a month on yourself for groceries. I mean, it might be a little steep, but still. You could spend $200 a month on yourself for groceries and still eat good. If you just ate groceries and cooked for yourself every day. Now I realize you're by yourself or whatever, and that might be a pain in the butt, but it's just you can make yourself something for lunch every once. That is ridiculous, Andy. Every day?
disposable income.
Yeah. Good luck with that after you're married, buddy.
I'll just have her make me a sandwich.
Yeah, good luck with that after your marriage, buddy.
Fair.
Yeah, you know what? In that case, buy your lunch every single day at work because enjoy it while you got it.
Oh, I am. I definitely am.
Yeah, I don't.
I used to buy breakfast and lunch, but now I don't.
Yeah, there's. I'm not gonna lie. There's been weeks that I got a little crazy and bought breakfast and lunch. Maybe not both every single day of the week, but like there's been a couple days I'll buy both, and like every day of the week I'll buy lunch, and it gets expensive, man. And I have a very bad video game habit, so I gotta keep up with that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm with you on that one.
we're not talking about that. So yeah, it just got me thinking though, because like back to me making a complete breakfast for dinner. I never eat a complete breakfast, and not only that, but it was just kind of like of all the things that I can concoct in what I have now, I made a complete breakfast, and I was like, certainly not the weirdest, but definitely one for the top interesting ones. And when you're short on money, assuming that ever happens, Mr. Disposable Income, uh,
It wasn't always like that.
right. At least, if nothing else, I'm sure there were days that you just didn't feel like going out. You didn't feel like ordering delivery or whatever. You wanted to make something, but you had nothing in the house. What kind of concoctions have you come up with?
Oh man. Okay, so I've had um, I've had hot dog chow mein, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Oh God.
Which is essentially just spaghetti noodles with cut up pieces of hot dog in it and melted Velveeta cheese. And sometimes there would be a can of peas in there.
Oh,
Because,
wow.
chow mein, you have to have vegetables.
Yeah,
So,
'cause you just made a primavera. Hot dog primavera is what I would call that.
yeah, it was, I enjoyed it. Like, it was still alright. I would eat, okay, so, water's pretty cheap, right? I mean, you turn on a faucet and you have it. So there's really no excuse for me not to use it. But there are times where I would crush up ramen noodles in the pouch and just eat the dry noodles. Like I wouldn't even add water.
Yeah, but you know what? You eat so many ramen noodles, and trust me, I have eaten some ramen noodles in my time.
Oh yeah.
You get tired of it after a while, and it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna change things up this time. I'm not gonna cook it.
Well, and I've had homemade pizza, but pizza with like 4 sets of quotation marks on it, because our version of pizza was more or less toasted piece of white bread. Then you put marinara sauce on it and 2 slices of American cheese and stick it in the microwave for 30 seconds to melt the cheese.
Hey, at least you had marinara.
Well, yeah, because it was a jar of sauce. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Try it with ketchup.
Ew!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ew!
I used to really like ketchup as a kid.
Ew!
But no,
That's gross.
I can. Oh man, what episode are we on? What is this? Episode 47?
47, yeah.
Yeah. Wait till episode 50 comes, because my God, I got some stories for you guys. It's coming soon. Oh, ramen noodle stories, man. Oh man. Anyway, not gonna get into that right now. Yeah, weird stuff that I came up with before. For starters, here's the thing. Like I said, I really liked ketchup growing up. My brother was incredibly picky, and he was the oldest one, so he and my sister was usually, at work or something like that. She started work at a very young age. My mom would be at work, my brother would be watching me. That means he was in charge for dinner, and I hated that because he would always make the dumbest, most bland stuff because he was so picky. So it'd be like buttered noodles for him, and that would be like pretty much elbow macaroni, boiled, and then add butter to it. That's his dinner.
Ugh.
Yeah, gross. So I like sauce on my pasta. So he gives me this plate of noodles, and he's like, if you want butter, you can put it on there. I'm like, I'm putting ketchup on this.
Ugh.
So, yeah, I started eating ketchup noodles one time. That was kind of gross, but I liked it at the time. And one other thing I'll mention real quick. Isn't it always funny how you kind of just like, you make this weird casserole or concoction or something like that. And you'll put together. Some of them are winners too. Let me tell you. But you'll put it together and you'll take a bite of it and you're like, yeah, that's not so bad. And you take another bite. Yeah, that's pretty good. Take a couple more bites. Yeah, this is great. And you have leftovers. Oh, I can't wait to eat this tomorrow. The next day you go to eat and it's just like, don't want it.
Yeah, no, because you come to your senses. Like, after the hunger fog has been lifted,
Yeah. What have I done?
I found nourishment in this? Oh, jeez.
Hot dog primavera, not as good as I thought it was. Oh God.
Yeah, even the other times where, like, you would just have, like, hamburger, and you're like, I have nothing with this. I have no milk. I have no, nothing. Like, what the hell am I going to do with it? So, naturally, what you do is you make homemade nachos, because you have stale-ass Doritos, and not even nacho cheese Doritos. You have, like, Cool Ranch Doritos. So, you have stale Dorito crumbs and hamburger that you just brown up, and then you, like, again, put some sliced cheese over top of it to let it melt, and there you go. You have nachos.
I mean, you at least bake the Doritos first to kind of bring them out of that staleness.
No,
Oh man.
no. You just put the stale Doritos right into the frickin' plate or bowl or whatever, and then you put the hamburger on top, and then you put the cheese on top of the hamburger, and then you let the cheese melt or put it in the microwave for a couple seconds.
Jesus. I have a lot of stuff that I can tell you about, but unfortunately they have to be saved because they are pertaining to something else that I'm not allowed to discuss until after episode 50.
Man, you've been
So,
building up the hype for this episode 50 since like episode 5.
like 3, dude. But yeah, it's something has to
Well, I mean, we're only a couple away. Like, this is 47. We got 2 more, and then, yay!
buckle up, guys. But anyway,
Wait, so does that mean that we're going to do our decasode on 49 or 51?
we are going to have our decasode be episode 50, and it's not going to be. Well, I guess we'll have to do a game show afterwards or before, because I certainly want a game show to go, because I got a really neat game. But you know what? I only have one, and this could definitely wait.
Okay.
So I think 50 is going to be just as go as planned. Fresco's going to be on it, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for that. It's going to be fun, and yeah, then we have to do it on 50, and it has to be. There's no decasode this time around. There's no game show decasode this time around. This decasode is going to be one to remember. Trust me. Anyway.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yes, right. But no, I've made some things that were kind of edible at times. Like I think, oh god, you know what? When I first got a deep fryer, I went a little crazy with that. I mean, who wouldn't, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was me and a couple friends, and I found a good recipe for fried chicken. Actually, I have a book called it's a cookbook called Cooking with Coolio, and it's exactly what you think it is. It's Coolio, the rapper from the '90s. He made a cookbook, and it's got some good recipes in it. One was for Compton fried chicken. That's Compton spelled with a K, so it's KFC.
That's cute.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, that's what we went with, and my God, I made it the one time, and after that, it was just like, this is how I'm making fried chicken from now on. And it was good. But anyway, so then I got a little crazy and decided to go into the realm of let's deep fry our desserts. So I took a crimpet, which is just a sponge cake with it was a buttercream one, so it was buttercream on top, icing on top of a sponge cake kind of thing. Oh man, it was good. Get out of here. Buttercream crimpets are the bee's knees. Anyway, I took the buttercream off and mixed it in a bowl with Nutella and just kind of microwaved it so it was like nice and gooey. And then I took the cake itself and coated it in flour and coffee creamer and deep fried that. And then I took the Nutella buttercream or butterscotch cream filling or icing and drizzled it on top with some powdered sugar. That thing was something.
That was a whole lot of like My arteries are clogging just hearing
Oh,
about
there's
it.
a reason why I'm this size.
Clearly.
And sometimes it has to do with, peanut butter, which is going to bring me to my next point about things. So the
Good
next
segue.
thing about thing I'm going to talk about with you guys.
So you know this thing relates to this thing, and I'm going to tell you how.
Something happened last night. Last night being Tuesday. Tuesday when Fresco was streaming. I was all excited. I went shopping during the day, right? And I only got a couple things, just some things to last me throughout the week. One of the things I got when my dad was here last whatever week that was, he thought he was being a good brother and went to go buy a jar of black raspberry jam made by Smucker's because my aunt, his sister, is a big fan of Smucker's blackberry jam, but for some reason everywhere around their area stopped carrying it. So he thought he's seen it in our area in Walmart, and come to find out, he's seen a black raspberry blackberry jam. It was like a combination of the two. And she was like, "Yeah, that's not quite it. Sorry." And he was like, "Well, now you have a bottle of jam." And just handed it to me. I'm like, "Okay. Well, I'm certainly not going to let jam go to waste." And it sounded good, so I figured I'd try it. So I bought a jar of peanut butter to go with it last night. And I'm watching the stream, I'm watching Fresco and everything, and I'm like, I'm going to have myself a nice little snack. I'm going to make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a nice glass of milk. So into the kitchen I go, and I'm all excited, whatever, and I'm getting all the necessities I need, the bread, the milk, the the plate, the knife, all that stuff. I got the jam, and I'm going nuts looking for this peanut butter, and it's just nowhere to be found. Now, I know I grabbed the peanut butter on the shelf and I put it in the cart, and I know I paid for it. I saw the receipt to show that I paid for the peanut butter. And I remember there was only 3 bags and nothing else was missing. But for some reason, this peanut butter is nowhere to be found.
Maybe. Alright, so maybe it did the Hitman thing, where it kind of like took another food's spot. And it's just pretending to be other food.
You know what's funny? And I'm not even kidding about this. I checked that. I checked everywhere for this jar of peanut butter. My heart was so set on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I checked in the bathroom. I checked in our bedroom. I checked the pantry. I checked the refrigerator. I checked the vegetable drawer. I was starting to move bottles around that I knew had nothing behind them, just in case for some reason I was looking at it at a weird angle and it was just perfectly covered by them and I just couldn't see around it for some reason. I moved everything. I looked in the freezer, like I checked my trunk, my car, because that's where I kept the groceries. And my wife, she felt bad for me because she seen how upset I was, which made me realize how fat I was being. And she actually went downstairs with a flashlight, checked like underneath of the car and in my trunk and everything like that. She came back and she was like, "I double checked. It's not in your car or around it." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks. I know that." Oh my god, it was terrible, man. I have no idea where this peanut butter went. So I discussed it with everyone in chat on the stream. And lo and behold, one of the people in the chat on stream was Eric from Countdown to Geek Town, and he informed me after the stream exactly where it went. 12 Alabama inmates used peanut butter to trick worker in their escape from jail.
Now, this one, I don't understand. Because, okay, if I'm in jail, right? I've seen Prison Break. I know how this works. If I'm trying to get out of prison, the last thing on my to get list is peanut butter.
Yeah,
Peanut butter is how I get some of the inmates to love me more. Physically. But, like, not a jailbreak item.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really read the article here. This was originally going to be a clickbait news. Once he sent this to me, I was like, oh my god, I have to make this a clickbait news thing. And then I thought about it, like, no, I'm going to preface it with the mystery over my lost peanut butter, and I'm just going to go right into it in the middle of the podcast. So here we go. And in clickbait news fashion, a dozen Alabama inmates cooked up a plot to hoodwink a new employee at the Walker County Jail using peanut butter to trick the staffer into opening an alternate door over the weekend. Uh,
Oh my
the
God, how?
sheriff said a recent hire at the jail was in the control room, keeping count of inmates when they asked to have a door open, but the inmates had used peanut butter from jailhouse sandwiches to trick the staffer. They had changed the number over the door with peanut butter. They hollered, "Hey, open the door," but that door number was the outside door, and unbeknowingly to him, he hit that lock and out the door they went.
Wow.
Here's the fun part. Of the 12 escapees, 11 have since been caught, including the two most serious offenders. Brady Andrew Kilpatrick, 24, is still at large after breaking out of jail in Jasper, about 40 miles northwest of Birmingham. He was in jail on charges of possession of a controlled substance, just possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of marijuana.
Wow.
Under
But it's okay, because he'll only kill Patricks. So as long as your name is not Patrick, you're fine.
Underwood said during the escape, the inmates threw blankets over a razor wire fence so they can climb over it. No citizens or employees have been injured during the escape, but two of the inmates were hurt while fleeing the jail, and one is in the hospital. Oh, that's funny. It just cracks me up.
I don't know which is. I was gonna say which I'm not sure which one is more serious. So I'd imagine that a prison break works a lot like a Black Friday. Like you have a very limited number of time to get through a very small narrow spot to get the goal here. So yeah, I could see that if you have injuries during Black Friday, you're gonna have injuries during a jailbreak.
Well, here's what cracks me up, because it specifically says that they used blankets to throw over the razor wire fence so they can climb over it. Like, I'm thinking they brought the blankets with them into this one room, thinking, hey, there's a possibility this might work. Like, how did you think that? You essentially just Bugs Bunny the crap out of the new guy.
Right?
Like, never in a million years would I have thought this would work. This would have been like one of those things where, like, you know, you come up with some crazy idea to go with your girlfriend, like maybe some sort of weird new restaurant to try, or weird sex position, or tell her about some crazy idea like, hey, how about bringing a guy into the relationship? But, you know, you say it jokingly, so she would laugh about it. But if she doesn't laugh and she goes along with it, then you're like, all right, well, yeah.
Yeah, if you come home from work one day and there's somebody else in your bed.
Yeah, like, you don't go into it with the guy already. You go into it going, all right, let's see how she takes it, and then we'll figure that part out. Like, how did they go into this room with blankets in hand already? Going, this is going to work. This way we'll have the blankets to jump over the razor wire. Like, kudos to them, because they were confident in their ridiculous peanut butter scam.
To be fair, it was Alabama.
You know, I forget about that sometimes. You're 100% right. Yeah, that was just something that I had to talk about.
Oh my God.
But, speaking of weird sexcapades, Andy, you have slightly told me about this wonderful dream you had. You want to elaborate a bit? Just tell the audience here exactly what you were experiencing?
Yeah, so,
Because I have notes written down, and I'm going to go through those notes as you're telling your story. Or maybe I'll wait for you to finish, and then, you know, go ahead. Go ahead, we'll figure it out.
alright, so here's the thing, right? And I don't know how often this happens to you, if at all, or anybody else that is within earshot of what I'm about to say, but, just this morning, last night after going to bed and having a sound sleep, I woke up about an hour before my alarm told me to get up. And not because I had to go to the bathroom or because I had a nightmare or anything like that.
Was it because you had one fly into the cuckoo's nest?
No. Definitely, I haven't had that in a while, actually.
Was
So
it
the birds are migrating the patterns that they should.
Was it because a fly went into the bowl with you?
No, definitely still never had that experience. Still think you're making it up. But no, what I had was the only way I can describe it is a super sexy dream. Like,
was it about ninja fish?
No, it definitely was not about ninja fish. But it was instead about, like, okay, so I don't have a whole lot of promiscuous dreams. I don't.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of dreams, period. which kind of makes me sad because like that's growing up, that was one of my favorite things about going to bed was that if I had to do it, I at least got to be entertained by it.
Well, maybe
But
you
in
do
one
have
form or
the dream.
another.
Maybe you do have the dreams and you just can't see them.
Anyway, um, jackwagon. Um, I never have them that often. So, like, you know, this time around, I was genuinely surprised that I had a dream, but then I was super surprised when it ended up being that sexy. Oh my god! So I'm in the middle of having an extreme orgy with like 5 women, and before people start getting mad at me for this,
No.
all of them.
No.
Huh?
We're not going to tell them that part yet. Keep going.
All right, so you know, and it does like there's some hot stuff going on. There is like I don't know when the last time you watched a good porn was, but it was everything in one of like the hottest porns that you've seen, and then some. Like take the top 5 and put them together, and it's the same guy, and then you're like, that fucker, like, how is he having all this fun and I'm not? Why is this a profession that I'm not being paid for?
I can answer that. I can answer that with 2 things: poop and monkeys.
Wow.
You asked for the top 5.
Wow. Okay, well, none of that was happening, but yeah. So you know, I have this dream, and it actually gets to the point where it is too much. Like I am having too much fun with this dream, to the point that my body wakes me out of a sound sleep before it was supposed to be woken up because I just could not take it anymore. I'm just like, no.
You couldn't go back to bed.
I could not go back to sleep.
Wow.
And like, here's okay. So here's where we start listing the weird parts about this. So, my brother, his wife, and their daughter were having a sleepover at my side of the house because I have a smaller house. My air conditioner is way better at keeping up with the heat than theirs is. So they're like, you know, it got into the 90s. Like, all right, yeah, I don't mind you guys, you know, sleeping over here. That's fine. So they all camped out in the living room. So I'm having this, you know, super sexy wild orgy dream while my family is in the immediate next room.
And
including my soon-to-be 10-year-old niece.
That's where I'm going to stop you for a second here, and I'm going to say exactly what I have written down on my notes. Super sexy dream, ... orgy and a half, ... had to wake up because I couldn't take it anymore, while family was sleeping close by.
Yeah, because then I had one of those things where I had to kind of like self-reflect on it, because like, okay, again, I don't know how you operate, but if I'm going to wake up from having a super sexy dream, the first thing I think about is, I mean, should I finish? Like,
where's the closest sock?
Like, I really feel like I need to finish, but my family's in the next room. I can't finish because there are times where I finish like a freaking wildebeest. Like,
Fresco, did you leave your socks on? Oh god.
Yeah, I don't know whose laundry got the business end of that deal, but good thing tomorrow's laundry day. But no, like, I didn't, but at the same token, like, I really wanted to.
Okay, now you can tell the good listen audience why they can't be mad at you.
Okay, so they can't be mad at me because, like, I was telling Lyle about this. Like, this is not the weirdest part of this at all. The weirdest part was that, okay, it was an orgy with, like, 5 chicks. All 5 of them were my fiance, Carla. Like, but it was, like, weird alternate versions of her. Like, one was standard, you know, her. The other one was, like, a tall version of her. Another one was, like...
One was Earth 616, Carla.
Yeah, one was... Comic book nods.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you know, one was like a punk rock version of her, like, you know, with like the dyed hair and like the tattoos and shit. Like, it was weird. it was weird, but like oh man, God, one had like a Gene Simmons tongue. Oh.
That's where I'm going to stop you again. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
just
things are getting
it
weird.
was because like there are some times where like when you turn that adolescent age, you kind of like I remember some of the first promiscuous dreams that I ever had, um, and they were relatively tame compared to like stuff that I have now. Like I was happy that in a dream I got to second base. Like that filled my day with joy, and also sock, but mostly just the day. It filled that with joy.
Now,
Uh,
now your dreams, if there's not at least a number 2 in it, then you just there's no point.
yeah, everything in moderation, man.
I gotta see poop.
I gotta see poop. It's the only way I can get my socks off.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, do you still have those kinds of dreams? Promiscuous dreams?
No,
Not at all.
I'm married.
And
It's all gone.
it's all gone. Every last bit of it.
Have fun.
Oh, man. I tell you what, man. I hope I have another one tonight.
God. I don't think that's something one dude should say to another dude. Oh God.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty bad when you go like, oh man, you getting some tonight? It's like, yeah, in my dreams. And actually say that without sarcasm, like actual genuine excitement. Like there's a sadness on that. So many levels.
Can we go into clickbait news?
I suppose.
Hold on, let me just finish this thought. Make another joke about your poop.
I don't really have a joke about my poop, but oh man, okay, so Gene Simmons Carla was
Uh-huh.
like you ever see those like the Spider-Man cartoons where like Venom taunts Spider-Man and his tongue is like going all over the place.
Uh-huh.
So she was making like my dick was like a barber pole, and her tongue was the red stripe.
Oh, there's something that has to be done here. Hold on. Barber. Uh, there you go. Just put that there. Okay, on the clickbait news. I have 3 stories as usual.
Okay.
I do have a Florida story, and 2 other ones that we're going to save for later. I'm going to start with the Florida one, kind of get everything up to par on where things are, usually at. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
No, that's absolutely makes sense.
Okay. So I want you to tell me. Well, you see, I kind of read into this story a little bit to see if it was worth it beyond its title, and I think it is. So I'm going to tell you something that's not included in the title. Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to have you guess something that's not included in the title. So
Okay.
I want you to tell me why the man decided to rob this bank.
Oh, he decided to rob the bank because he had a personal grudge against one of the tellers.
No.
Oh,
Like I said, it's not
that's
in
a
the
fair
title.
guess.
It's not in the title, but just, stick around for a second here. Man robs bank, then gets naked and throws money. Kind of clickbaity, right? Like, okay, yeah, let's see what this is about. That's what I figured. So I was like, oh, let's see how this works. So authorities in Florida say they arrested a man who robbed a bank, stripped naked, and ran down the street throwing stolen money. Here's the fun part. A spectacle that he somehow thought would jumpstart his career as a comedian.
What? What?
Instead, the FBI says 25-year-old Alexander Sperber is charged with bank robbery. A federal complaint says the man told authorities he parked his car at the bank, made a gun motion with his hand and demanded money from the teller, who gave him about $4,700 in a bag. Officials say a red dye pack exploded, staining his clothes and a cast on his left wrist. Oh, good. His wrist was already broken. Sparber was taken to a hospital and found to be coherent and uninjured. It's unclear if he has an attorney. Yep, just wanted to, blow up his comedy career.
Well, I mean, when you rob a bank with your finger?
Robbed the bank with his finger, got naked, and threw money, running down the street.
Well, I mean, so he shouldn't have a whole lot of listed charges against him because he didn't have possession of a firearm or concealed a firearm, or can you get somebody for making threatening?
Yes, it is still considered an act of terrorism, or at least an act of robbery. You may not have done it with I don't know how that is. I guess it would just be terroristic threats of sorts.
I guess, but at the same token, like, you have to, like, I know the laws are supposed to protect people and everything like that, but if somebody makes a gun motion with their hand, and it's clearly their hand, and they go, give me all your money or I'll shoot you, and you don't call their bluff, some of that blame has to be on you.
I mean, there's no list here of charges, but you also have to keep in mind he did strip naked and ran down the street, so that's indecent exposure as well.
It depends on what he was packing. It might have been some pretty decent exposure.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
but where do you go from that? Like, if you're trying to kickstart a comedy career with that, like, what is your follow-up act? Like, do you just share the story on stage and be like, oh, isn't that the guy that stripped naked and threw money out in the street after he robbed the bank? Like, well, yeah, let's hear what he has to say. And he's like, what's the deal with airline food? You're like, what? No. I don't want to hear about airline food. It's stupid. It's stupid. He had a terrible gimmick, and he couldn't go anywhere else with it.
Shame on him. So.
Yeah, the teller's stupid for giving him money in the first place.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, where the sun meets the something. They have a song. I know they do.
What impressive thing did the 72-year-old woman do in Oklahoma?
Give birth to twins?
No.
That would be impressive.
I guess it would be. 72-year-old woman kills 11 copperhead snakes with a shotgun, shovel, and a rake.
What? Okay, I am picturing a much more epic showdown than I think this was.
I feel like this should have been in Florida, but then you actually think about it, and it's like, oh, that's not that impressive now that I think about it. So, okay, let's see here. One Oklahoma resident is getting much praise after she killed several copperhead snakes by herself. On Friday, Susan Thompson was visiting her neighbor, Mrs. Newby, when she discovered that the 72-year-old had taken care of 11 copperhead snakes that she found under her home in McGuire, Oklahoma. Thompson said Newby had used a shotgun, a shovel, and a rake to get rid of the snakes. She posted a photo to her Facebook page with the caption, Mrs. Newby killed 11 copperheads last night at her house. She's a snake killer. If you need her help, call her. She's 72 years old.
Wow.
Facebook users were full of praise of Thompson's neighbor. One woman even commented, I love Mrs. Newby. Does she need more shells? Here's something that cracked me up about it. I know we said we weren't going to talk about video games, but this is funny. This kind of reminded me of that, when you find the overpowered weapons in the beginning of the game, but you're still low leveled, so you have to kill snakes. Or you're just an overpowered person from much further on in the game, and you had to go back to the new area for something. It works too because her name's actually Newbie.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. The image I got was like from like those bad like B horror movies where like some sort of simple animal or like or puppetized version of an animal is like attacking the group of survivors held up in a building, and they have to like hold out for the dawn. So like I'm picturing this 72-year-old woman with the shotgun in one hand and a shovel and a rake in the other, and just like they're crawling in through the windowsills, they're coming in through like the grates or like holes in the floor or something like that, and she is just like going to town on them, like beating them off one by one. like screaming, "You'll never take me alive!" And then like as she like says the last part, her teeth pop out. "You'll never take me alive!" Your terms of business comprehension will stop me.
Her moo just flapping in the wind. Because you know she's wearing a moo. She's 72. Oh, that's freaking great.
St. Patrick, eat your heart out.
Okay, and finally, oh my god, I couldn't wait to get to this one. This would have been the only one I did if I could have gotten away with it. I don't know why, but this one cracks me up. I want you to tell me why a retailer is apologizing because of the font made a word look like what?
Penis.
Yeah.
Font made a word look like a penis.
Not a specific thing, but it made it look like another word.
Oh, it made it look like a curse word.
Not necessarily a curse word, just another word.
I got nothing.
Retailer apologizes after font makes glitter appear to read as Hitler.
No. No, that's not a thing.
Oh my god, is it ever? You gotta see this.
Please, I need a visual. Yeah, no, that totally looks like Hitler.
The bag says
my favorite color is Hitler.
Yeah, it says my favorite color is glitter, but the G and the L are so close to one another, and the G is lowercase, and instead of it going underneath the rest of the words, it's like at the same length of the rest of the words, so it looks like a capital H. It looks like it says Hitler.
Yeah, I don't know whose idea that was. Like, how do you not notice that in the concept stages of things?
Just made me laugh though. So the company's chief marketing officer quickly responded after Twitter users pointed out that a tote bag carried a message that looked quite different than what it designed intended. I was doing so well. It says marketers and designers take note, font choice matters. This is really weird. I don't know how I'm going to read this off because it's just several like posts and stuff. Oh, here we go. In a statement which was first published in Allure, Belichick's chief marketing officer, Matt Mullen, distanced the company from the mistaken message. While I realize that most of the social media buzz and commentary has been tongue-in-cheek, the type of abhorrent whatever sentiment conveyed as part of the misinterpretation absolutely does not align with our company values, nor is it something we would ever want to encourage or support.
I can't believe they had to make an official statement like that.
Mullen also...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Mullen also told Allure that the product had been available on the site for more than a year before anyone took note of the typography, Jesus Christ. The typo mix-up. It's a rare and probably honest mistake, but all it takes is for a few offended customers to take to Twitter to attract a crowd and create a PR headache. This is a reminder to serve. This is something that can serve as a reminder to double check your font choices and your interactions online. I am done reading stuff for the rest of the podcast. I'm done.
So
that's it.
I love how they had to say it was probably an innocent mistake. Probably an innocent mistake? Do you honestly think that you would have some sort of German guy in R&D trying to pick out the font for this? Is going, yes, this will do. My favorite color is Hitler.
I mean, it could be my favorite color is... Anyway,
This shows those filthy Jews in Wall Street.
Let me tell you something. If I didn't already know of another podcast that does this, I would actually make it a segment to point out how often Hitler is still in the news today.
Yeah, weird, right?
He is always in the news.
Yeah, I don't... And it's funny, too, because, he is legit, the world's first and only supervillain.
Yeah, I wouldn't say only, but certainly the first supervillain.
Yeah, it is up to the point where like he is a freaking caricature for evil. Like you have Satan and you have Hitler, and then there's no real in between there.
Yeah, yeah. You want to see the redesign of the bag?
Yes.
There you go, right there.
Oh, there you go. See, that's better.
Here's the old one. Here's the new one.
That is so much better.
I like how this guy just straight up says, "My fave color is also Hitler." That's great. But yeah, just to show you how great the other podcast I listen to. I won't go into details, but they have a segment called "You Learn Something New Every Day."
Oh, jeez.
It's so good. It cracks me up. I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I could not come up with something that brilliant. But
see, I think it'd be hilarious if the company had also added to their PR fixing that yes, we rounded up all the faulty merchandise with the offensive logos on it. 6 million bags in total. We have burned them to make amends.
I don't think that's making amends. I really don't think that's making amends.
What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
Plus, also, Hitler and glitter are neither of those two are colors. So the whole project itself is faulty from the start.
Oh, man. Well, time to name the episode. Got anything with Hitler?
I was going to say my favorite shade of Hitler.
I was going to say I Dream of Hitler.
No, you have to throw the color in there.
Why? The color Hitler?
The color Hitler.
50 Shades of Hitler?
Absolutely. 50 Shades of Hitler. Because it even runs into the super sexy thing, too.
Well, not only that, but it also runs into the whole hype for episode 50.
Yeah, it's just too perfect not to be called that.
Oh my god. That is so good. That'll do it for this week's episode of the Side Splitters. Episode number 47, titled 50 Shades of Hitler. My name is Lyle.
And my name is not Hitler.
Don't forget, I will be streaming tonight, actually. When you hear this episode, I will be streaming. You can listen to it. Feel free to come on the stream, ask me anything you want, or just don't watch it all, and I'll just sit there and be lonely and play my video games by myself. Either way.
I'll be there, buddy.
Hey, see that? Both of us will be there. You can talk to us personally if you want. Twitch.tv/sidesplitters. See you then.
Bye, guys. I mean, auf Wiedersehen!